Sports presents coverage of high school boys basketball. Tonight, a top 10 matchup between Northwest Suburban Conference teams as the Maple Grove Crimson come to Brooklyn Park to take on the Champlin Park Rebels. Hello and welcome to our coverage of tonight's game between the Crimson and the Rebels. John Jacobson and Ryan Iverson and Ryan, only meeting between these teams in the regular season. They're in different sections this year, so unless they meet in the state tournament, this is it. But should be a great one tonight between two very good teams in the Northwest Suburban.
Well, it feels like, John, every week we have a Northwest Suburban matchup featuring two of the top 10 teams in the state. A couple weeks ago we got a great one with Maple Grove and Osseo. I expect the same here tonight. We got two outstanding coaches, outstanding programs, and some great guard play. But what's really fun is the lost art of the big man. We got some great big men here tonight too.
The Rebels lead the Northwest Suburban Conference North Division. Maple Grove second in the West Division behind Osseo. The Orioles still unbeaten on the season. They're having a terrific year. Each of these teams has lost to Osseo. What they've done is remarkable, Ryan, but each of these teams, again, having good seasons, as they did a year ago. Of course, Champlin Park going all the way to the state championship game one season ago.
Well, I think what really it comes down to is building confidence within their program, within their guard play. Both teams have excellent guards. McKinley Wright for Champlin Park, Brad Davison for Maple Grove. They're the decision makers. They make everything run smoothly, and there's no two better guards in the state of Minnesota. But they also have the role players that know what their roles are. They fill those roles. Great teams have a couple of stars, and then they have great role players. And I think the coaches have done a great job, Coach Tucksher and Coach Schroeder, of just delivering expectations and then players filling them.
Ryan talked about the big men in tonight's game, and that's who we're going to focus on here in the pregame. Starting with Maple Grove, Reed Nicko, a senior. He is headed to the University of Missouri next year.
I'm the biggest Reed Nicko fan that there is. I thought his game a couple weeks ago against Osseo, his key is always staying out of foul trouble. If he's on the court, he's such a big body. He's 11 points, 8 rebounds, almost 4 blocks, and he just patrols the middle. And even if he's not blocking your shot, John, he alters people's shots. So I think he gives them a really nice 1-2 punch. He's got to stay on the floor tonight.
And for Champlin Park, 6'9" junior Theo John.
I'm going to repeat exactly what I just said. Theo is a great player. He's averaging a little bit more offense, almost 15 points a game, but he's got to stay on the floor as well. He's such a good shot blocker that they really got to work with him on being disciplined, taking his blocks when he can get them, but they need him on the court, especially to match up against the size of Reed Nicko. So I'm excited for those two. I hope both stay in the game, avoid foul trouble, and I'd love to see the old school throw it down low and let's see those two go at it. It'll be a lot of fun.
That's saying one thing, and we talked about, Ryan, before we went on the air, is how this game is officiated can have a big impact. We'd like to see him let things go a little bit and let those big guys bang down there.
Well, you do, and that's something that both coaches can talk with the officials. Say, we got two big men. How do you guys call it? The other thing, the flip side, as a player, is you have to adjust to how it's being called, whether you like it or not. If they're calling push fouls, then you got to adjust. Both of those players are so valuable, and they make their team so complete. Like I said, they have excellent guard play. But if you combine that with the big play, and if those guys are able to play and be efficient, stay on the floor, these two teams both have the talent and the depth to win a state championship.
A good test for each of these teams. With only about 2 weeks left of the regular season, we expect a great one tonight. Just 3 losses on each side and 35 wins combined between the Crimson and the Rebels heading into play tonight. We'll tip it off in a moment. Maple Grove Champlin Park boys basketball next on Channel 12.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
We're just a couple of minutes away from tip-off. Maple Grove and Champlin Park boys basketball tonight on Channel 12. Fans starting to file in. Not quite as big a crowd as we saw here a year ago when these teams met, when Maple Grove or Champlin Park rather was number 1 in the state, but still a good, healthy crowd here tonight for this rivalry. These schools not too far apart. Let's look at the starting lineups for each team, starting with Maple Grove. Ryan Bredensteiner, 6'4" junior. replaced Taiwan Pickford in the starting lineup. He's joined by 6'10" senior Reed Nico, Teron Pickford, a 6-foot senior, and a couple of juniors, Jack Hutchinson, a 6-foot junior, and Brad Davison at 6'3". And for Champlin Park, Aaron Kluckner, a 6'4" senior, joined by 4 juniors, Theo John, 6'9", Marcus Hill, 6'3", DJ Hunter, 6'3", and McKinley Wright, 6'1" junior. Talented starting 5 for both teams.
Well, we previewed the matchup of the big men. From a guard perspective, JJ, McKinley Wright does everything. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and then, conversely, Brad Davison, almost 21 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. So, I mean, these two are the best of the best as far as guard play in the state of Minnesota. There's a look at the big fella, Theo John. So I'm really excited to see this talent.
Let's look at our head coaches. Nick Schroeder now in his 6th year as head coach at Maple Grove High School. 18-3 on the season, 12-2 in the Northwest Suburban this winter. And for Champlin Park, Mark Tuchscher now in his 12th season. He was Class 4A Coach of the Year last year. And that state runner-up team that only lost 1 game all season. 17-3 right now, 13-1 in the Northwest Suburban Conference. And both of those guys you played AAU ball with.
Both really good friends of mine and both excellent coaches. They were both really smart basketball players. Mark Tuchscher, I think, you look at last year and he lost a lot of seniors, right? That team had kind of been building up. And for them to come back and maintain that level of excellence, obviously having a couple of still really, 2 key starters back. But when you lose a bunch of seniors, that's kind of hard to regroup. So hats off to both of these coaches. I think I always talk about not just having a good team, but a good program, developing players. And both of these guys being former players themselves, I think they're the best around.
And you remember, of course, JT Gibson was the Mr. Basketball a year ago from Champlin Park.
A lot of talent has been through this on this floor in the last few years, not just from Champlin Park, but really the Northwest Suburban as a whole. I think, we talk about it all the time. You can throw the Lake Conference in there, but I think it's top to bottom and just individual talent. This is the best it is in Minnesota.
Regular season will end on February 19th. For Maple Grove, it ends with a rematch against Osseo. They lost that close game at Osseo a few weeks ago.
Well, interesting, too. You look at Maple Grove and coming off kind of an uncharacteristic-like game, losing to Centennial earlier, this month. And in that game, Centennial packed it in. They played a 2-3 zone defense, forced Maple Grove into some tough contested perimeter shots, and they weren't hitting. Interesting to see if Champlin Park will follow that. It's a copycat game. If something works against someone, do you try it as well? But, Mark Tuchscher, they hang their hat on playing man-to-man defense, so we'll see what they come out in. And always, anytime you play Maple Grove, how do you defend Brad Davison?
Opening tap, bounced around, and finally controlled by Champlin Park. They get the first possession of the game. DJ Hunter giving it to McKinley Wright. Right side is Marcus Hill. Into the big man, Theo John, going at Nico. Missed it, but he's fouled by Nico. And so this was something we talked about right in the pregame. Both big men going at each other, and I'm sure each would like to get the other into foul trouble, and we'll see how the game is called.
Well, I love the call there. I think both coaches are going to go to their big guys early. To your point, John, you figure out how the referees are going to call it. And there was a little contact there that could have been a no call. Instead, it was a foul, and that's one on Nico. And again, these teams are really good when everyone's on the floor. When you take away their big men, I think they are both different caliber teams.
Missed both free throws. Teron Pickford rebounds for Maple Grove, and they get their first possession with the ball. Bredensteiner looking inside, now gets it to Davison. Right defensively on him. Hand off to Hutchison and back out top to Pickford.
And they got it looked at. You see Reed, there you go.
Nico going at John. And ball knocked away from the weak side by Hunter, and it's a steal for Champlin Park.
I think Reed Nico's better when he can catch it, make one quick move before the guard play comes down. He doesn't have great dribbling skills.
Wright fouled on the 3 by Pickford, and Wright will go to the line for 3.
Well, and as a coach, that's so frustrating. You want your guys to contest jump shots. Whenever I'd foul a jump shooter, my coaches would always say, "Are you a shot blocker?" And the answer is no. As a guard, you want to contest it, make him hit a tough contested, but you don't want to foul him and give him 3 free throws, especially a scorer like McKinley Wright. Now he's going to see that ball go in. It's going to give him confidence, get his rhythm going.
Wright, the leading scorer for Champlin Park, 19.1 points per game. No problem with those first 2 free throws, and one more coming for the junior. And got them all.
And that's big as a scorer. When you can get to the line, you know, first or second possession, especially for 3 free throws, you see them all go down. Now you're starting to feel good about yourself. And the scorer's mentality is all about confidence.
Davison will take it strong, missed on the shot. Ball tapped out and controlled by Champlin Park. Hunter to the front court with it. He'll bring it to the basket, off the glass, around, not good. Nickel rebounds out to Davison. 2-on-2 with Bredensteiner. Now will pull it back out. Now he'll take it at the basket, gets it blocked, and a foul called on Kleppner. Thought he had one clean, and foul on Kleppner.
You can see it, yeah. I thought initially that looked clean. There on our replay, again, just excellent camera work by our guys. There was definitely some slappage of the hand. And again, you're seeing Brad Davison. He's so strong going to his right. That I think if you allow him to go to his strong hand, which is his right hand, he will get to the basket every single time. He's got that rare combination of speed and size and quickness and body strength as well.
Averages 20.7 points per game, and he makes both of his free throws.
Well, ever since Tywan Pickford went down, you know, we wondered where that scoring, you know, who would replace that. And I think Brad's really stepped up the last, 6 to 8 games, however long it's been. His scoring average has definitely gone up.
Theo John, he'll take a long 2-pointer. Missed it, rebounded by Davison. Looking ahead, pull up, trying to go for the lob for a dunk, but Nickel Wright not really in position. Luckily for the Crimson, last touch by the Rebels, and they'll keep possession.
And Champlin's really lucky. That time, Jack Hutchison, who's a great 3-point shooter, usually runs right to the corner. And Brad kind of got stuck in the air there. He didn't have his shooter open in the corner and forced it into Reed. They're lucky to maintain possession.
Nico turns on John, who gets the block. Outlets it to McKinley Wright. So first block for John. Both he and Nico average over 3 blocks per game, and Wright takes it all the way to the basket. He's got all 5 Rebel points.
And he's not that big of a kid. I mean, he's 6'1". He doesn't look like he's that strong, but he is a very physical guard. And you see him, he muscled Brad Davison that time, and he's got that great quickness and strength to go with it. Nice job finishing.
Bredensteiner on the wing. They go to Nico again. Miss the shot. Now we get the foul on John. So each big man with the foul, and a chance for Nico to go to the line.
Yeah. Just good strength. And that's a difficult shot by McKinley Wright, finishing, switching from his strong hand over to his left hand and finishing. And again, I love the strategy early here by Nick Schroeder, getting the ball into Reed Nico, forcing Theo John to play defense without fouling. That's been, if there's one Achilles heel for Theo John, he's such a great athlete that he's just got to be able to stay into the basketball game because he's so talented.
Nico makes the first one, and the second one out, and John rebounds.
You love the crowd like that. If we were in Wisconsin, John, they couldn't do that stuff anymore with the new rules. So at least
very sportsmanlike in Wisconsin in high school. Boy, they've taken a lot of flack about that too. Baseline drive, tough shot, really no chance there for Hill, but the ball comes to Wright and he puts it in.
Well, and don't forget, he's averaging 8.5 rebounds per game, so he's a very good rebounding big man. And that time you can see here how strong he was, able to hold the defender off and get a shot off.
Hutchison long 2, off the mark, rebounded by Hill. Hill will push it ahead, he'll drive himself and score. Marcus Hill. 9-3, Champlin Park.
Great body control, slides right around Brad Davison, trying to take a charge, and nice job by Marcus Hill to avoid contact.
Davison, pull up from 15 is good.
And again, he goes left, comes back to his right hand, gets to a spot, and he's really improved his mid-range jump shot, I think, from last year. Every year, and especially in high school, you want to try to improve something and get better and better and better.
John going against Nico, up and in off the glass.
If Channel 12 was broadcasting in Hibbing, Kevin McHale would be sitting there watching that move, smiling. What a beautiful up and under. And he's added to his post games. He used to be more just a alley-oop and tip dunks and that power. There was a nice footwork, nice finesse move. And I think that early foul played a role too. Reed Nico not wanting to pick up a second foul.
Pickford gets it to Nico. Back out to Pickford. Now Teron Pickford will drive. Nice little move around Hill and can't get the shot to drop. Hunter ahead to Hill. Little pop from 6 up and in. Nice decision that time not to continue to the basket where he may have picked up a charge that time. Pulls up and hits.
It looked a little awkward, didn't it? Like his knees were buckling. Maybe he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do, but he gathered himself and took a great shot, able to knock it down.
Hutchison drives after the shot fake on the 3 and scores.
Again, the power of being able to knock a jump shot down. Jack Hutchison, all he has to do is show that shot fake, an excellent move, one dribble in, a nice float over Theo John. Not an easy shot to make.
Not quite 5 minutes played, already 13-7. That one won't go for Hunter. Knocked away from Pickford, who got it back. Pickford will take it to the basket. Up, not good, but he's fouled, and they'll go to the line.
I'll tell you, Teron Pickford, his role when his cousin went down, I think doubled as far as the importance. We saw in that Osseo game a couple weeks ago, remember, he got that 4th foul early. He's that other ball handler that can take some of the pressure off of Brad Davison. He's got the quickness, the athleticism to get to the rim one-on-one, and you can see if he's aggressive, I think it just opens up the rest of that Maple Grove offense. So his role, John, I think is really, really, really important. Maybe second on the team.
4 of the 5 Crimson starters averaging double figures. Pickford averaging 10.6 per game.
And what those role players have to realize too is they don't have to get 20 points, but if they can get 10 to 12, then defenses have to stay home on them. And it opens up, they have good spacing, and it opens up those driving lanes for Brad Davis or Teron Pickford.
Missed free throw, but the long rebound came to Pickford. Now double team, nice. Handoff to Hutchison. Klepner got a hand. I think we're going to call goaltending here.
I'd say already, John, in this game, how many plays have we seen other players make as opposed to that Osseo game where it felt like Brad Davison had to make everything happen? And that's what Maple Grove is, a tougher team to defend when they got a little bit more balance and other guys making plays. Excellent backdoor, great pass by Teron Pickford.
Brian Smith, number 0, came in for Champlin Park at that last whistle, replacing Hunter. Smith entry pass to John. Hook shot in the lane. Will go. Hill fighting for the rebound, but Davison fights a little stronger and comes out of there with the ball. Into the front court for the Crimson. They trail by 3. Off for Pickford. Bredensteiner. In for Nico, backing down. John knocked away, and they're going to call a foul. I think on Wright.
Now that's going to be big. Who they put that foul on? Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be on Wright, not on Theo John. Yep. It came across trying to swipe at the ball.
You know, and that's where as a guard, you got to just trust your big fella. You got one of the best shot blockers in the state. You know, not to reach. It's so tempting to reach in that cookie jar. You got to just trust your big fella. You know, if Reed Nico makes an 8-foot jump hook over Theo John, that's a shot you live with, right? I mean, that's great defense, but even better offense. Instead, you get a little reach in, and you put a guy who's a pretty good free throw shooter on the line. But how about Theo John's display of offense so far? We've seen an up and under, a sky hook. I love the big fella.
Nico 1 out of 2, both times to the line tonight. So they stay at a 2-point margin of 13-11. 6 in a row, though, for Maple Grove. Klepner. Oh, off the hands of Smith. Right, able to save it. The corner shot over Nico by Hill, wouldn't go. Here's Pickford back from Maple Grove, taking it out off the glass, not good. Rebounded by Klepner. Late pass ahead and knocked away by Bredensteiner.
I'll tell you what, Bredensteiner on the previous possession did a phenomenal job of boxing Theo John out to allow Maple Grove to go in transition. There he does a great job of just hustling to break up maybe a fast break opportunity.
Josiah Strong, number 2, in now for Champlin Park. Shot by Wright, won't go, rebounded by Nico. Davison will bring it up.
Well, that was pretty good man-to-man defense. Champlin did a 1-4 load, basically just an isolation for McKinley Wright. Solid defense, forced him into a tough shot.
Pickford at the free throw line off right wing. It's back out top. Now a swing at left side. Pickford back to Davison. And then Nico over John. Way off on the shot, and John rebounds.
Again, trying to make it an emphasis to try to get Reed Nico the ball down low.
Three-point shot up and good. Josiah Strong, 5'10" sophomore. First three-point shot made in the game.
Yeah. You know, he's averaging right around 6 points, so he's a capable scorer. Has had a couple of big games scoring this year.
Davison pull-up is good. He's a good mid-range shooter.
You know, I would have said a year ago, maybe even as a freshman, he was either a three-pointer or it was all the way to the rim. And I was that way when I played. As you get older, you start to appreciate that mid-range, knowing that's where the openings are.
Right. Baseline shot missed this time by Strong and rebounded by the Crimson. Here's Davis in front court. Trying to go down low for Hutchison and knocked out of bounds. Bubba Horton, 6'3" junior, into the game for Maple Grove. Inbound, Hutchison. And now it's Horton with it. Crimson trailing by 3. Now Davison will take it strong to the basket. Blocked by John. He goes to the floor along with Nico.
Timeout.
We get a timeout call. It's like by Maple Grove. Nico had the ball and on the floor. And a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, that ball was awfully close, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So look at the state 4A rankings this week. Apple Valley, #1. Osseo has moved up to #2. Hopkins lost a week ago tonight against Wayzata, a team they had beaten every game for 25 straight years. Champlin Park, #4. Wayzata, 5. Maple Grove, 6. And then Shakopee and Lakeville North. Rochester, John Marshall, and Chaska.
So you got Champlin Park 17-3. How about these losses? Hopkins, Osseo, 2 of the top 3. And then Stevens Point has, I think, 4 to 6 Division I players. They're one of the best teams in the country. So those 3, I mean, those are, you couldn't ask for better losses. Right. And on the flip side, too, with Maple Grove, Apple Valley, Osseo, and then you throw in the one to Centennial as well. But so these teams, you know, have played very good basketball all year long. Their losses have, for the most part, been to really high caliber teams.
Davison inbound, his team trailing here by 3. They've been down this whole game. Nickel hand off to Davison, and he'll reset out front. He'll drive it to the basket. Now trying to shovel it for Hutchison, knocked away out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, that's a shot Brad would normally try to make, but that's the impact of Theo John. The play before, we saw him pound his shot against the backboard. I think you're constantly in your mind thinking about where the big fella is.
Pickford up and in, his first field goal, and it's a 1-point game.
That's a good sign for Maple Grove. Pickford being very aggressive. Made a couple plays with passes. That time gets a nice mid-range jump shot to fall.
Smith out front, you know, strong there, and gives it back to Wright. Strong left open. He's already hit 1 3, and he's got another.
Oh, they're running a little pick the picker or screen the screener. You screen across for Theo John, then he's getting a screen, and Josiah Strong coming up and knocked down his first 2 threes. Big shots.
Davison will drive, give it back out. Horton, 3-point shot. That's good. Horton, who recently verbally committed for baseball to the University of Minnesota. That's a big shot here. Wright driving, offensive foul. Davison grabbing the charge, and it's the second foul on McKinley Wright.
That's huge. I think both of these guards, if you can get them in foul trouble as well, you know, they're the head of the train. They're what makes this go. Look at that crossover. And you leave your feet. That's just a smart play by Brad Davison stepping in, taking a charge, and McKinley Wright's going to sit down. Much as we've talked about how important those big guys are, I mean, these two guards for these 2 teams, too, need to stay on the floor.
Jared Martinson in for Maple Grove, #31. Marcus Hill is back in, replacing Wright, who goes to the bench. Pickford short on that shot, rebounded by Smith. Loose ball picked up by Strong. Past the midway point now of the first half. 1 point Champlin Park lead. Number 4 versus number 6 in the state. Smith traveled.
Well, and interesting, Reed Nico is out of the game, and what you're seeing is you're seeing a combination of Ryan Bredensteiner and Bubba Horton guarding Theo John. They're trying to front him. And that's where, as an offense, you got to look for that matchup and maybe go high-low. Try to get Theo a lob over the top where he can use his height advantage.
Bredensteiner to Davison. Nice look off for Martinson. And he's fouled. Waited for the defender to come by and then draws the foul. And Jared Martinson will go to the line for 2. Foul is on Theo John, and that's his second.
So Mark Tucksher's got an interesting decision. Looks like they're going to bring him out. So now you're talking their top 2 leading scorers, and Theo John and McKinley Wright, both with 2 fouls, will be out of the game. This is where, if you're Maple Grove, you got to take advantage of this Champlin Park lineup.
The free throw up and good for Martinson. See John having a discussion there with the official on how he got called for the foul, or that maybe the foul should have been on one of his teammates. But regardless, he goes to the bench with 2 fouls. Eldridge Joyce, 6'7" senior, is in his place.
Well, now on the flip side, Reed Nichols coming back in, and when you're a big fella and you see Theo John on the bench, your eyes kind of light up, saying, hey, I got a huge height advantage here. So right now the momentum definitely favoring the Crimson.
And the Crimson in the lead at 20-19. Oh, only for a moment. Another 3 for Strong, who's got 9 off the bench.
Well, he started the game strong, hasn't he, John? He has come out and unconscious, 3 for 3. I love that confidence, too, right off the bench. That's not always easy to do.
Davison, a deep 3-pointer. That one won't go, and it's rebounded by Davis, knocked out of bounds by Pickford.
That's not easy to do, too. When you're coming off, that's the right side of the court. As a right-handed shooter, you're turning left. You got to get squared up to the basket and hit that. He's feeling it right now.
Hill across for Smith. Smith's shot blocked by Nico. Bredensteiner ahead to Pickford. He'll take it to the basket, and Joyce trying to come back and block the shot, picks up the foul.
Well, there's the big fella, Reed Nico, averaging under just around 3 a game. Doesn't even have to hardly leave his feet. And then Maple Grove in transition. It's Ron Pickford. I love how he's come out here tonight, John, aggressive on offense.
Free throw up and good for Pickford. A.J. Hunter back in for the Rebels. Pickford's second free throw comes out and rebounded by Joyce. So it's 22-21 Rebels. 7.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Hunter. Now it's in the hands of Strong. Starts a drive, comes back out with it. Ooh. Good pass inside. Joyce foul.
Oh, God.
All for traveling. That looked like it was going to be the second foul on Nico.
That's a huge call.
Yeah. Let's look at it again. The entry pass from Hunter. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think it was a foul either, though.
Right, that's true.
I think it worked out.
They all even out usually, don't they? Down low goes to Nico here, working on Joyce. Powers it up and in.
And you can just see a little bit more aggressiveness when Theo's out of the basketball game, knowing he doesn't have to fear a shot block. Nice, strong move. You see how he got his body and his momentum right into the shot.
Hill shot short. Davison rebounds. Strong knocks it away. Good defensive play to break up a 2-on-1. Klepner comes back in. Hill out for Champlin Park. And now comes to Nico. Crimson by 1, 6:50 to play first half. Ryan will be talking to both head coaches here at halftime. Bredensteiner looking, now finds Davison. Joyce fronting Nico down low.
He's working down there, nice job. Not allowing him to catch the ball with that position.
Pickford finds a little opening and slices through for 2.
And again, you're going to see the impact of Theo John out of the game. Guards start to feel like, hey, we can get to the basket. We're not worried about getting a shot block. It's a complete game changer.
Pull up shot by Hunter won't go. Pickford is fouled by Joyce. Probably not a foul you need to commit, especially when the other team is now in the bonus, and he's your second big man. He picks up a second foul.
Yeah, a nice crossover, and again, Teron Pickford being aggressive, taking advantage of his matchup, and he's come out and had a really nice start to the game.
A foul actually on Hunter. That's only his first, so not 2 on Joyce. Pickford to the line for a 1-and-1.
What'll be interesting with 6:11 left in the first half, and you got McKinley Wright on the bench with 2 fouls. Does Coach Tucksher keep him out the rest of the half, or does he kind of see how the next minute or so goes? If you see Maple Grove go on a little bit more of a run here, wouldn't be surprised to see McKinley Wright back into the game.
And now they're up by 5. Pickford cashes in. We get a timeout, 30-second timeout here for Champlin Park.
I think if you're Nick Schroeder and you're Maple Grove right now, you couldn't have diagrammed the start any better. You got the quick fouls on Theo John, and then as an added bonus, you got McKinley Wright in early foul trouble. So you've really taken out, roughly, 35 points of offense out of the basketball game. And what you do when you do that is you force these other role players to now become the main decision makers and the playmakers. And Champlin has the guards to do it, but it's different, when you're not used to being the guy that has to make all those plays. Scottie Pippen always said it was so much easier. You never realized how much easier it was to play with Michael Jordan, because all of a sudden, defenses were focused on Jordan, so you'd get, how much more opened up for you. And then when Michael Jordan retired, he's like, it's a totally different game when everyone's featured on me. So it's a big difference when your stars are out of the basketball game.
For now, Wright and John on the bench, but as I say that, they walk to the scorer's table, and both will check in at the next whistle. Strong, left open, and this one comes out. He was too close to the basket, Ryan. Davison will take it strong, missed, comes up way short on the shot, and rebounded by Davis. Kleppner ahead for Champlin Park. This time it's a 3, that one comes off, rebounded by Smith. A double dribble called on Brian Smith.
Yep, I like the move here by Coach Tucksher, getting his stars back into the game. I think you recognize you don't want to go into halftime maybe down 8, 10, down 5 right now. Maybe he can get his offense back. The interesting part, will Maple Grove attack Theo John and try to get that 3rd foul on him? I certainly would. And then, because sometimes you have that in your mind, okay, I'm not going to foul. You don't end up playing aggressive defense. You give up easy baskets.
Maple Grove, their original starting 5, back on the floor as Davison takes it to the basket and scores.
Again, going to that right hand, he's so dominant.
Head to Strong, got through on the break, and Jay Strong, an easy layup there.
Well, Strong's got 11 points. Maple Grove better recognize he's got a hot hand going tonight, and you can't give him that easy look. Champlin Park switching to a 1-3-1, just trying to change the rhythm up a little bit. I like that.
The lob for Nico, slams it home. 7-point lead again for Maple Grove. Right to the basket, trying to go at Nico. Missed the shot. John rebounds, and he's fouled by Nico. Picks up his second.
I think they're going to get Bredensteiner.
Yep, you are right. That is Ryan Bredensteiner picking up the foul. That's his first. Only the 3rd team foul. Look at that last basket a moment ago by Nico.
That's just a great offense right there. 1-3-1. Brad with his head up. And when you got the luxury of having a 6'9" guy, you can throw it over the top of everybody. And I'll tell you, those dunks, for both of these, Theo John gets a lot of dunks. Reed Nichol gets a lot of dunks. In high school basketball, it just energizes your fan base, your whole team. So those are really, really big plays.
Theo John, after missing his first 2 free throws very early in the game, hits 2 there. He's got 4 points. It's 31-26. Under 5 minutes to go, first half. Good one here tonight at Champlin Park. Davison, 18-footer, off the mark, rebounded by Wright. 4-on-2 break ahead, strong, a little too strong on that shot, and Nico rebounds. And then we get a foul, I believe, on John, trying to knock the ball away. Or is it going to be?
Oh, that's number 3. That's a foul you just can't afford to make, big fella. 70 feet away from the basket, knowing how important you are to this team. Let's take a look. They're complaining about who the. Ooh. I think you could have called the foul on both of them.
Right. I don't know. That's not one that I would have necessarily called, but I don't know if it's NBA basketball either.
But you can't commit the foul. You can't do it. You know, it's one thing if you're protecting your rim from a layup and you get it, but when you're 65 feet away from the basket, you just got to do it. Yeah. You got to do it.
First free throw up and in for Nico on the front end of the one-and-one. So John goes to the bench with 3 fouls. Nico cashing. Boy, Maple Grove really cashing in on these free throw tries, aren't they?
I think it's 16-7 as far as free throw attempts in the first half.
Wright trying to back down Pickford. Now Nico pops out on him. Wright trying to dish it off and through the hands of Joyce and out of bounds. Turnover, Champlin Park.
You know, Joyce is a really good player. He plays hard. He plays good defense. But that's, again, where that's a play maybe Theo John is expecting that ball, able to catch it and finish. And it allows Reed Nico to be more of a double teamer, more of a shot blocker to everyone else, not having to worry about where Theo John is.
Hutchison for 3. That one won't go. Rebounded by Joyce, so he can hang on to the ball. Now he does and gets it off to Wright. Wright, nice dish off for Hill, and he's fouled.
That's going to be the second on Reed Nico.
Yeah, there you saw Nico coming across hard on Marcus Hill. Will go to the line for 2 here. So Nico is going to come out. Martinson will come in for Maple Grove. Hill first free throw, too strong. So Martinson in, and for Champlin Park, Chris Davis back in, replacing Elders Joyce. Second one for Hill is good. 5 points for the junior. Maple Grove still with a 6-point lead with 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go first half.
Champlin Park in that 2-3 zone. Going to try to force jump shots from this Maple Grove team. Contested jump shots.
Davison for Martinson, back out to Davison. And he'll reset out top for Maple Grove. Spreading the floor a little bit, the handoff to Bredensteiner. Hutchison, right side, Pickford now. Drive by Davison. Bredensteiner back to Davison for a 3. That is good.
Oh, that's good offense right there. About a minute off the clock. Good ball rotation, movement. Brad goes from the corner, comes up top. He gets a nice looking 3. He's in double figures now with 11.
Smith to right. Back out Klepner and to Smith. Wright comes around the top. Now he'll take it to the basket, and he's fouled by Pickford.
This could be Pickford's second as well. Beautiful looking jump shot. You know, when Davison gets his feet set, gets his legs into it, he's got a really nice looking jump shot.
That last foul, the 5th team foul on Maple Grove, so no 1-on-1 yet for Champlin Park. Wright will take it at him again. Now a dish off. Great pass for Hill.
Well, you credit McKinley Wright on the pass, but a nice job by Marcus Hill, recognizing his guy was getting stuck, makes a great backdoor cut baseline. Great find and a great finish, and a big basket for Champlin Park.
Gets them back to within 7. 2:20 to go in the half. Pickford for Bredensteiner. Hutchison goes baseline. Nowhere to go with it, and Davis ends up with a turnover, Maple Grove. Hill back ahead, 1-on-3, blocking foul on Davison. Only 2 shots here for Marcus Hill.
Yeah, Marcus Hill done a nice job attacking here tonight too. He's earned a couple of trips to the free throw line. And going right into Brad Davison, getting the contact. Yeah, I think that's the right call. I think Brad was moving a little bit to his left. We saw a couple of those calls in that Osseo Maple Grove game, a couple of charges that were, those are such tough calls to make on the referees, but.
Hill 1 out of 3 from the line. He's got 7 points. Pickford out, Horton back in for Maple Grove.
I think Coach Schroeder Pickford with 2 fouls. He doesn't want him to pick up a 3rd foul that could inhibit the second half of foul trouble.
Missed them both, and the rebound to Martinson. Two minutes to go in the half. Crimson with the basketball. They lead it by 7. Davison looking for Nico, or excuse me, for Martinson. Nico out of the game. Davison will back it out. Hutchison, 1:40 to go in the half. Bredensteiner to Davison. Now it's Horton. Maple Grove in no hurry here, Ryan. We got the nice lead here in the first half. Look for a good shot. Horton almost lost it, hands it off to Davison. 17-foot shot. This one won't go, and it's rebounded by Wright. Minute 10 to go. Now McKinley right to the basket, up and in. Right, 3 baskets, 3 free throws, 9 points for the junior. It's 36-31. Maple Grove's 10-point lead now cut in half. Horton will drive it into some traffic against Davis. Comes back out with the pass. Now up top, Hutchison with 45 seconds to go. Martinson to Davison. Bredensteiner to Horton left side. 30 seconds to go in the half, and getting a hand in there briefly was right, but Davison still controls here for the Crimson. Looking at that clock, down to 20 seconds to go. Now we'll start a drive to the basket. Dishes off. Bredensteiner from 12 feet. A great offensive set there for Maple Grove, and Bredensteiner cashes in with his first basket of the game. Under 10 seconds to go. Right with the basketball. Champlin Park trailing by 7. Right for 3. Missed, and the half will come to an end. Maple Grove, after trailing much of the first half they get a couple of key Rebel players in foul trouble. They take advantage, and they go up at halftime here, 38-31. 7-point Crimson lead as we go to the break here. Some of the youth players from the Champlin Dayton Athletic Association, Rebel basketball, out on the court now at halftime. Let's go down courtside now, and Ryan Iverson, who is standing by with Mark Tuckschurer.
All right, thanks, John. Coach, what did you think of the first half?
It was a slower pace than typical with these two teams. I think a lot of foul trouble on our part. That's tough. You get kind of out of your flow when your normal guys are out of the game. But I thought we kind of hung in there in a couple possession game here.
With Theo having 3 fouls, what's your strategy as a coach in the second half? Do you start him right away? Do you let him play with that 3rd foul, or do you hold him back a little bit?
Yeah, I got to have some time to think about it. Big game like this, when they got a big center like that, we leave him on the floor and see how it goes.
How do you pick the pace up in the second half?
I think we got to get out and run. We got to push it with the pass. Right now we're just kind of holding back, but part of that has to do with guys coming in and out with foul trouble. So next half we look to push it with the pass.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. All right, back to you, John.
All right, thanks much, Ryan. 38-31, the Crimson lead the Rebels at halftime. We'll take a break, come back, and more boys basketball from Champlin Park High School on this Friday night with this timeout.
An eating disorder feels like having another person inside your head. It kind of built this wall around me.
The main thing that we needed was hope.
Your age, your gender, your ethnicity. Eating disorders don't discriminate. They can strike anyone. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing on trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
John Jacobson, Ryan Iverson back at Champlin Park High School. The Crimson lead the Rebels 38-31 as we look at some highlights from the first half. Ryan, Champlin Park had the better of play early. McKinley Wright taking a right to the basket and scoring. Such a dangerous player when he's driving to the basket. Here's Marcus Hill scoring 2 of his 7 points in the first half. Brad Davison has his jump shot really working tonight, doesn't he?
He does, and he's hit a 3, but he's got that mid-range jumper really working. That's when he's so tough to defend. I thought early on, you heard Coach Tucker talk about the pace. A lot of these baskets were early on, and that's when Champlin was getting up and down the floor, getting good layups. And I think Maple Grove slowed it up, and they were really able to execute in the half court, especially once Theo John left the game with his second foul and then picked up his third foul again right before half.
Josiah Strong helped keep Champlin Park in the game with 3 3-pointers, 11 points in all off the bench for Champlin Park. Another one here for the sophomore.
And really, without those 11 points, he's doubled his average. Without those 11, this would be a totally different ball game. I thought Teron Pickford was great, too, in the first half.
Had a good first half. The lob there for Nico for 2 of his 8 points in the first half. And then Davison with a 3 that helped put Maple Grove up by 10 at the time. Champlin Park got as close as 5. They trailed by 7 at the half. Leading scorers, Davison with 11, Pickford 8, Hutchison with 4, and for Champlin Park, 11 points was Straw McKinley Wright with 9, and Marcus Hill with 7 points. More of the youth basketball at halftime here. You get the ball, you're going to shoot when you're right.
This will be 2022. We'll be doing these guys this game. You love it. I can tell you, John, from when I was at Eden Prairie, 3rd grade, we got to play at the halftime of varsity. I still remember, I was so nervous and excited. This is a great thing for youth basketball. Let's get one of these in. I want to see a bucket.
And they're going to let some more players on the floor. And we'll take a break. It's 38-31. Crimson lead the Rebels. Northwest Suburban Conference boys basketball continues on Channel 12 after this timeout.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
30 million Americans will suffer from an eating disorder at some point in their lives. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Hi, I work at the NEDA helpline. We have something called Click to Chat, which is a live chat with someone on the helpline, and they're really able to get support.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy! Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Lindsay, for example. Her first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. Right away, she received professional training and now has the tools and skills necessary to produce her own show. She's turning dreams into realities right from her own home. And best of all, she's sharing her passion with members of her community and beyond. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Welcome back to Champlin Park High School. 38-31, the Crimson lead the Rebels here at halftime. And let's go back to the floor. Ryan Iverson.
Thanks, JJ. With Coach Schroeder. Coach, I thought your pace in that first half was phenomenal. You guys took your time. You got shots you wanted. Mid-range was there. And I think Teron Pickford attacking, too, helps take some of that pressure off of Brad Davison.
Right. We talked about that. We needed somebody else to be aggressive. Teron stepped up. He's doing that. And what we really need to get in the second half is those secondary guys, when somebody goes to the basket, get cleaning up that those second chance opportunities, because they're having, Theo's a good shot blocker, McKinley's flying at people. We need to get those second chance opportunities when we can't finish over that big.
At halftime, do you talk about Theo John with 3 fouls, McKinley with 2 fouls, attacking them, trying to get them out of the game for good here in the second half?
Absolutely. They're the 2 best players I have. They're their playmakers. We want to go at them early, see if we can't get 1 or 2 more on them and put them on the bench.
Hey, last thing quickly, against the zone defense, I know you guys struggled against Centennial. I thought the big adjustment, putting Davison in the middle of the floor, getting him a couple mid-range, and then being able to make passes out of that too, was real critical.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. We got to put him in positions to make plays, and putting him in the middle of that zone. He's a smart kid and makes nice decisions.
So basically, great coaching is what you're saying.
Right, yeah.
All right. Good luck in the second half, Nick. All right. We'd like to thank the gentleman that walked right through our shoot too, right during the interview. Back to you, John.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Thanks for both coaches for taking a few moments to spend some time with us as well here in the first half or at halftime. There's a look at their numbers for the first half. Maple Grove, a little better shooting percentage. Although Champlin Park able to hit 3 3-pointers, was all from Josiah Strong out of 5. Maple Grove getting to the line more and hitting and taking advantage. A lot of those front and back ends of 1-on-1, able to cash in on those. 12 out of 16. Champlin Park 6 out of 11 from the line in the first half. 9 team fouls on Champlin Park in the first half, compared to 6 for Maple Grove. Individual foul trouble. Ryan talked with both coaches about it. Theo John's got 3. McKinley Wright 2 fouls for Champlin Park. On the Maple Grove side, Reed Nicko, Teron Pickford 2 each. First possession of the second half to Maple Grove. They've got a 7-point lead as they shoot for their 19th win of the season. Davison goes to Nicko. Missed the shot, and the rebound pulled down by McKinley Wright. So we got Chris Davis in the game. He was defending there on Nicko. So John starts the second half on the bench. Now Wright with the basketball. Pickford guarding him. He'd like to get a 3rd foul on Pickford, Ryan, early in the second half. Tough shot from the baseline by Hunter. Nicko outlets it to Davison. Davison, Bischoff, Hutchison. Pull up on the right side after faking the 3. Rebounded by Hill. Hill will push it for Champlin Park. Coach Tucksher talked about them trying to push the pace if they can. Klepner 3, not really shot the ball at all tonight. Missed that one, got the ball, and there's Pickford. Boy, a foul you really don't need to make, and that's his 3rd.
Yeah, that's huge. You heard Nick Schroeder talk about how big, just not even scoring, but someone that makes plays, someone that can handle the ball. I think it allows Brad Davison to conserve some of his energy to finish games stronger too. So his third foul right now, Maple Grove going to keep him on the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Jump shot up and in.
And a smart offensive player is going to go right at him, knowing that he's probably not going to be that aggressive defensively. So a nice move. McKinley Wright, I expect to have a big second half.
Davison off of Bredensteiner, looking down for Nico. Davis got back into place to defend him. Hutchison will drive. Now comes back out to Bredensteiner. Pickford.
Well, this is where I'd like to see Reed Nico battle to get position down there. He's got about 5 inches height right there. Seeing him really battle, try to get the ball down to him. There's the high-low.
Trying to go down and over the head and out of bounds, trying to hit it to Nico.
But a nice job, Chris Davis in the game, battling down there, not making it easy. Maybe got away with a little bit of a hold down there too.
I agree on that one. Nick Schroeder's arguing. He had his arm all the way wrapped around him.
It's a smart play. It's a hard thing to call.
Right, off for Hunter. Rebels trying to make a little run here and get back into this one. Down 5 right to the basket, up and in.
How about that, to keep your balance, to turn the corner like that, you're about to fall down, and to have the balance and then the wherewithal to get the shot up and make it. With Reed Nichol coming over trying to block it, not an easy shot whatsoever. Nice play.
Pickford, 13-footer up and in. First basket of the second half for Maple Grove.
He's in double figures. He's had a really nice game, John. Really impressed with how aggressive he's been.
Right, nice dish off inside. Hunter can't get it to go, but Chris Davis is there. He gets the offensive board and put back for his first bucket tonight.
He's giving them some energy. He's playing defense really nice. He's battling there. He catches the pass, able to finish. There's Teron Pickford. Look at that crossover. Creates space. He attacks the basket so hard. He creates space and recognizes it, hits the mid-range jump shot. And there Chris Davis just works on the offensive glass. Reed Nichol, the shot blocker, comes over and misses it. That's what you have to do. You have to clean that up offensively and get the putback, and Chris Davis does that.
Brian Smith back in, DJ Hunter out for Champlin Park. Hutchison bombs it down, Nico. His second dunk of the game.
That's where if you're gonna front him, you have to know that you have help coming on the weak side. McKinley Wright went for the steal, wasn't able to get it, and that's the result, is an easy dunk.
Right off for Smith. Smith, a good three-point shooter when he can get open. He's only 5'6", but he can shoot the ball from the outside. Here's Wright with it. Wright will try the three. That one in and out, and Nico had a hand on it. Comes into the hands of Klepner. Tough baseline shot for him, won't go, and Davison rebounds. Fourteen and a half minutes to go, second half, 5-point Crimson lead. They led by 7 at the half. Biggest lead for them is 10. Davison with a three.
That's great offense. They're going 4 around 1 with Theo John out of the game, and they're trying to get the ball inside to Reed Nichol, and you're seeing, you know, offside ball. They're sagging in, trying to help on that. They swing it. Brad Davison nails a long three-pointer. Tough offense to defend.
Theo John getting ready to check back in for Champlin Park. Hill, Davison right on him. Out to Wright. Let's see if Wright goes at Pickford here, the 3 fouls. Yeah. Now gives it off to Smith. Catch and shoot three, in and out. Pickford rebounds. Pickford back out to Davison.
We're running the same set here. You're going to see 4 around 1 with Reed Nichol down low. Just trying to create spacing. And then if they overhelp, you're going to have shooters lined up for shots.
Hutchison three, won't go. Rebound pulled out by Hill. He and Bredensteiner get tangled up a little bit. The jump ball, possession arrow favoring Champlin Park. So Josiah Strong and Theo John in at the whistle. This will be the chance for Champlin Park to make a run here if they're going to. They're down 8. It's Strong with a big first half shooting, and John back into the ball game. Smith shot up, not good, but he's fouled by Hutchison.
Man, is he quick, huh, John? He comes off that screen, and just like that, one dribble, he's at the rim, gets a little bit of contact. Yeah, they need. I think Champlin really needs their guards. They need Brian Smith, Josiah Strong to have another big second half. they can get some other sparks, some big perimeter shots, kind of get their offense going, that'd be huge.
Smith averages almost 10 points a game. That's his first point tonight.
Be interesting to see, too, if Champlin stays with the man-to-man, with Theo having 3 fouls.
John and Nico battling for the rebound. They call it jump ball. Possession arrow this way, pointing Maple Grove's way.
Well, Champlin will go into a zone here, just try to change that rhythm up, try to avoid Theo picking up another foul.
Davison will hold it. Off to Hutchison. Oh, for a second there, he going to the 4 corners there.
What's the smart thing? If you got a team playing zone and you got the lead, you pull them out. Those are the kind of things you can't. It drive you nuts as a coach. Those unforced turnovers. But hey, the time is, clock is on your side with the 7-point lead. If you can take a minute and a half off.
Strong off for Wright. Wright will drive past Pickford. Davison comes over and does a nice job of defending. Klepner for Smith. Trying to get in for John. Nico knocks it away, denies the entry pass.
Well, that's 2 parts. 1, the pass has to be there, but 2, Theo's got to hold that defender off with his body. And that's where you got to make a defense. Reed Nico's going to gamble, just like we saw a couple possessions ago with Maple Grove. If you're going to gamble, you got to make them pay and catch that, turn around and get a big dunk. Get this crowd back into the game. Get your offense sparked.
Davison out high. He'll go past Wright. Tough shot. Won't go. Klepner outlets. Trying to get it for Smith. Now it's back into the hands of Wright, and he'll finish.
Nice.
A little broken play there, but it ended up all right for Champlin Park. They're back to within 5.
He goes from, McKinley Wright goes from 0 to 100 miles an hour in about 1 dribble. And he plays like he's about 6'5", doesn't he, John? He's got those long strides. Plays really strong, too.
Under 11.5 minutes to go, second half. Crimson still in control. Hutchison with the basketball. To Bredensteiner, looking for Nico.
And again, you'd like to see Reed post up there, demand that basketball, go right at Theo John. You know he's going to be conscious of that, picking up another foul. I think Maple Grove needs to attack Theo John.
Davison off for Nico. One-handed dunk that time for the big man.
That's what you do. You attack the shot blocker. He comes over, you drop it off, and Reed Nico able to finish at the rim.
Strong for Smith over Nico. All of that 5'6" over 6'10" with the basket. Timeout taken by Champlin Park.
That's just a great pass, great play. Watch Brad again going to his right hand. You got to make him go left if you're trying to slow him down. He's so good going to his right. John, how about the play before he went left baseline and he airballed it, right? He not that he can't go left, but he's so dominant when he goes to his right hand. You got to take that away. He's able to turn the corner, and he goes up like he's going to shoot it, which Theo John comes at it for a block shot opportunity. And
the guy in the middle there with the red W on his lapel, that's Greg Gard, head coach of the University of Wisconsin. Talked to both head coaches before the game. He is here to look at both Theo John and Brad Davison.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking at McKinley Wright as well. McKinley's getting some big time interest. It's just amazing the level of high school basketball now in Minnesota. You're seeing, was it a couple years ago we saw Bill Self, was there? Roy Williams went to a game when we were doing, I think it was a Hopkins game. I mean, we got some very good talent, deep talent. There used to be a time where you might get one prospect to go big time. Now you got 2 or 3 playing in one game, which is pretty awesome.
Nico going at John, missed the shot, and John rebounds. Right ahead for Champlin Park. And get a blocking foul on Davison. That's a second on Davison. He's trying to draw the charge and get a third on Wright. Didn't work out.
I thought Theo played excellent defense there. He went straight up. He didn't extend his arms, didn't get him with the body. And he forced Reed Nico to take a tough shot. And if he makes it, so be it. You live to fight. But that's how you play defense without fouling.
Marcus Hill back in, Brian Smith out. Inbound here for Champlin Park. 3 team fouls in the second half on Maple Grove, none on Champlin Park yet. Kleppner to John, trying to go at Nico, up and in off the glass. Didn't get the foul, but he got the basket, Ryan.
Yeah, and again, good defense by Reed not to foul. I think you'll live with Theo John making left-hand jump hooks off the glass. And
right.
if he makes 10 of them, then he's had a heck of a night. But I think more importantly, you've seen Champlin Park back into this game only down 3.
And Davison answered with a driving layup.
What
16.
direction did he go there, John?
Right.
There you go. He is so good. And I make it sound like it's easy to take his right hand away. It's not. He sets it up so nicely.
Davison comes in front of John there and knocked the ball away, but then Davison steps out of bounds trying to get it ahead for Pickford, and it's back over to Champlin Park.
I thought initially they were calling a foul on Theo John on that. Great anticipation, playing the passing lanes. Let's see if Champlin's able to go back to Theo down low.
Strong with the basketball, now to right. So they isolate him with Pickford here. Now he'll come back across. Trying to get it down for John, but Nico got in the way and knocked it away.
And you can see McKinley Wright say, my fault. He was about a second too late on that. He had him originally because Reed Nico had to show on the screen. He had Theo John on the roll there, just a second too late.
Strong trying to lob it down. Nico denies the pass. Maple Grove with it. Davison to Pickford, who can't hang on. They turn it back over.
And again, Reed Nico, a nice job. You see how he's able to slide around Theo John playing post defense. And the other factor to that, I always used to fault my big man when I'd make a pass that gets stolen. But as a guard delivering that, you got to put a little bit more mustard on it. And you got to anticipate where he's going to go.
John take it at Nico, spins in the lane, and he's fouled.
That's a big time move right there. That's a big time. He caught that at the 3-point line, John. Dribbled down into the post, and watch this power spin right there. You see Davison coming over, you see him power up right there. That's a move that no one in Minnesota high school basketball would be able to guard if he did that every time.
Third foul on Nico, so now both bigs with 3. John with 7 points. And now when you get to the point where it's 9 minutes left, you're okay with three fouls.
You are, but if you pick a fourth right now, I think you probably end up sitting for a few minutes. So right now everyone's okay. You just got to play smart. And if one of those bigs does pick up a fourth, it's a huge advantage to the other team.
Back to a 3-point game. Champlin Park hasn't been able to get any closer than that in a long time since they were in midway through the first half. Davison to the basket. That one won't go. Whistle. Who's the foul on here?
We get Kleppner, I believe.
Yeah. Foul will be on Aaron Kleppner, his second.
What was weird about that is the whistle blew about a second after the shot.
Came pretty late, didn't it? Yeah.
And I think that's as a player and as a coach, that's when you have a problem. It's almost like you're waiting to see if they score. If they don't, then you call the foul. I don't know if that was a foul or not, but that's frustrating as a player when it's a little bit late like that.
First free throw attempts of the second half for Maple Grove. They were 12 out of 16 in the first half.
Well, and it's unusual too. We've seen Davison just make a living at the free throw line before. 10 to 15 attempts in a half, and really his first time, he's done a nice job really of settling for that mid-range shot. And Champlin's done a nice job at not letting him, let him live at the free throw line.
Second one is good. And a timeout, Maple Grove. Each team with 3 timeouts remaining. Possession arrow favoring Champlin Park as we're past the midway point here of the second half. As I mentioned, the regular season ending in 2 weeks. Maple Grove will finish it off at home against Osseo. Champlin Park will take on Spring Lake Park in its final game of the season on February 19th. And then we're into section play. But unlike the last few years, these teams in different section. Maple Grove, as it's happened a couple times, bumped up to Section 8 4A, where Elk River and Brainerd figure to be the toughest competition for Maple Grove. And the possible road to state, and Champlin Park remains in Section 5 where they've been. Osseo, of course, the #1 team there, unbeaten on the season.
Yeah, it's going to set up to be a heck of a section tournament. It really is. We were talking off air, John, that this year it feels like there could be 4 or 5 different teams that could contend for a state championship, and a lot of them coming from this conference, right? I mean, with Osseo, I think Champlin, if they were to play well, could beat any team, and I think Maple Grove with Brad Davison and with Reed Nico, and he's throwing Teron Pickford playing well, and a couple of shooters, they could play. They've proven they can play with anybody. Hopkins, of course, Apple Valley, Shakopee. I mean, there's a number of teams that I think could be there at the end, which makes it really exciting. And I look at it not as a lack of great teams. I think we have a lot of depth this year, more so than maybe normal. Wayzata, we saw.
Wayzata beat Hopkins a week ago, yeah. So out of that timeout, and Rebels with the basketball. They trail by 4. John going at Nico. Comes up short. Did a good shot. Couldn't get it to go. And rebounded by Davison.
Yep, good shot. He's got to get his legs underneath him. That one was a little flat. Nice job by Nico, too, just playing with his arms straight up. Making that a tough shot.
Hutchison is a good three-point shooter. Hasn't been able to get on track tonight. Pickford and back out to Davison. Now Davison will drive. Off on the pass to Hutchison and back to Davison. 8 minutes to play.
Again, Maple Grove content, taking time off the clock, being patient, trying to get the right matchup. And it kind of lulls you to sleep defensively. And just when you do that, that's when they look to attack and get a shot out of it. So it's a hard ask defensively to play a good 45 seconds to a minute. You tend to relax. You tend to get a little bit complacent. You can't do it.
Davison will drive, kicks out. Bredensteiner knocked down a couple of shots. They don't ask him to shoot much. They makes the free throw late in the first half, and this one here puts his team back up by 6.
Yeah, big time shot. We saw that one before halftime. That time Davison turns the corner, and he's not a selfish scorer. He scores a lot, he gets a lot of shots, but he makes the right play a lot of times, able to get it to Bredensteiner for a nice, easy jump shot.
John way off on that shot over Nico and Davison. And the Crimson with possession again. Now the handoff to Pickford on the pass.
I'd like to see Theo John offensively play with his legs a little bit more. You see sometimes his legs are a little stiff, and that, I think, results in a flat release of his ball. If he were to power, he's got big, strong legs. If he could use his legs, use that power, I think he'd get a little bit higher release, a little bit more arc on that jump hook. And if he does develop that consistently, he could be unstoppable, not only at this level, but even maybe at the next level.
And look now, since the last 2 possessions, Maple Grove Ride's been able to work about close to 2 minutes of clock off here. And they got a basket on their last possession. So they've increased their lead. They've worked the clock. And we're winding down towards 6 minutes to play. Davison to the basket, up, around, not good. And rebounded by Klepner. Davison slow to get up. Champlin Park's got the numbers right. Dish off for John. And a foul from behind on Pickford before the shot. So no shooting here, but Pickford picks up his 4th.
Yep, and that's big with 6 minutes left. Nice job. McKinley Wright goes right at Reed Nico. You see how Theo stepped in front of Pickford there to catch that ball? That's a great move for a big fella to do that. Maple Grove lucky that wasn't an and one. Lucky to get that ball on the floor.
Chris Davis in, facing Klepner. And Horton in, now replacing Pickford. Wright. Lost it on the dribble, picks it back up for Hill. Gets blocked by Nico. Here's Davison. Back for Maple Grove. Hold it now. We'll start a drive. Takes it past John, up on the run. Not good. Foul, or we're going to have goaltending. It looks like goaltending on Theo John.
Yeah, it looked like Theo's hand hit the ball when it was rolling around the rim. And actually, Brad's lucky he didn't get an offensive foul there. Yeah, you can't touch the rim as a defender. But on that replay there, you could see Brad Davison extend his left arm. And the confusion right now, they called a goaltend. They haven't given them the points yet.
Oh, they're going to. Oh, offensive goaltending.
Oh.
Nico apparently was called for the goaltending.
Yeah, someone's hand hit the rim here. Watch the push-off here, too, by Davison. You see that? And we're going to see whose hand actually gets on the rim. Oh.
Yeah.
I think Champlin's fortunate there. You're not allowed to touch the rim when that ball's up there. You could see maybe both hands hit it, but you could definitely see Theo John's hand up there as well.
Right off for Josiah Strong. And then a chance to shoot it in the second half like he did in the first half. John with a mid-range shot up off the rim and in.
Well, I'm watching Greg Gard, the Wisconsin Badgers head coach, and he went to his notepad right after he saw that. So he's making a note saying Theo John can hit the mid-range jump shot. If he can hit that consistently, he's going to be a really tough guard. And that's a big bucket. We're a 2-possession game right now. That's where Champlin needs to play defense, see if they can get a turnover, pick this pace up a little bit.
Again, Pickford out of the game for Maple Grove, Ryan. Davison drives through a lot of traffic, and he traveled. So, 4-point game. Wright will walk it up with 4.5 minutes to go here in the second half. 52-48. McKinley Wright will attack, gets it off the corner, Strong for three. It comes out, Davison rebounds. Davison will hand off to Bredensteiner, back out to Hutchison. Now it's Horton right side, Strong defensively on him, hand off back. Top side to Davison. Jack Hutchison with under 4 to go. Right on top of Davison. Davison finds a little opening, takes it to the basket, up and in.
And again, gets to his right. He used his body that time really nicely. He shielded Theo John. So Theo couldn't even attempt to block that shot. Really nice move.
Right from 15, not good. Tip up, not good. Ball to the corner, Wright diving for it along with Davison. Wright goes down hard. It's off of Wright, and it's Maple Grove basketball. McKinley Wright a little slow to get up. Look at that ball again. The tip up try, not good from Hill. And Davison, Wright colliding.
That's great hustle too by both players. That's what you love when your best players are the ones that sacrificing their body, diving out of bounds, trying to maintain possession of the ball. That's what you love to see. As a fan, it just energizes you. As a role player, it energizes you. Hey, if these two guys are doing that, I can certainly be doing that.
Maple Grove using a timeout, their third timeout. Look at the upcoming schedule for the Crimson. Play at Totino Grace Monday. Armstrong, 12-10 record, a little deceiving. They have lost a lot of close games, really Ryan, including a 2-pointer to Osseo the other night.
And a 3-point game to Eden Prairie. That was almost a half quarter at the buzzer to beat them. So you're right. They're a team I think no one wants to see in the playoffs because they have the athletes, and Greg Miller does such a nice job with that program. I don't think anyone wants to see them.
Upcoming schedule for Champlin Park, Eden Prairie for them Wednesday, Irondale, and then Elk River on Tuesday here, Tuesday the 16th.
Elk River really a strong team this year, 16-4. And they've lost, a couple of their 4 losses were really close losses. So it's going to be a fun section playoff time. I think you'll get, how you always get a good regional final. I think some of the quarterfinals are going to be really good games. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3, 4, even a 5 seed make it all the way to the conference finals, or region finals.
As we get ready to start playing, before it gets away from me, you mentioned Coach Greg Miller at Armstrong got his 300th career win last night in Armstrong's
awesome.
win.
And about the most humble guy, too, that you could ever talk to. He does a nice job. He's a great basketball guy. And we saw Tim Tyson here from Osseo watching the game. Another great, you talk about getting the most out of your team, 22-0, and I don't think anybody saw that coming this year.
Davison, pull-up shot. That one not good. Ball tipped to the corner. Smith falling over the Crimson player Hutchinson, who had the basketball, and the foul is going to be called here on Hill. Look at that ball as it's, excuse me, on Smith.
I'll tell you what, Brian Smith should play football. That was a form tackle going into the corner.
Excuse me, Ryan. Only the second team foul on Champlin Park here in the half.
He said, "You guys were telling me I'm small. Well, watch this," and he leveled. And Pickford back into the game with that fourth foul. I think smart move. He's giving them one more ball handler out there.
Smith knocking the ball away from Bredensteiner. 2:53 to go.
Well,
Davison to Nico.
And you wonder too, John, with only 2 team fouls, does Champlin maybe take a foul here early?
Davison driving, score, and a foul on right.
I know I sound like a broken record, but did he go to his right on that play? Watch him go, turn the corner. You see how strong? I mean, look at that. He cuffs that ball with his right arm. And McKinley Wright is a strong kid as well. That's a man finish right there at the rim. When you can cuff it like that, take the contact, and still finish, it's a big time play.
He's always really sneaky with that left arm too,
yeah.
isn't he? Try not to pick up a foul.
Great scorers, you figure out how to do it where it doesn't look blatant, right? But obviously, I mean, he does a great job of holding that defender off. And you saw the strength in the right hand, able to hold on to that ball and finish.
Rebels in a big hole, down 9 with just 2.5 minutes to go. Wright, ball knocked away by Davison. Wright trying to get it back, out of bounds. Off Davison, it goes hard into the bench. Slow to get up, but like Wright a few moments ago, looks like he'll be okay.
Yeah, great hustle. That's just both these two. Second time we've seen them both diving in, out of bounds, trying to make a play for their team. You love to see it.
Wright just lost that one. Tie up, jump ball, and it's Champlin Park basketball.
Well, you're at 9 points now. If you're Champlin Park, you're going to have to start thinking about threes, start thinking about picking up full court. Again, with only 3 team fouls, you want to get into that position where you're in the bonus so you can stop the clock and make this maybe a free throw shooting contest with Maple Grove.
Strong back into the game, replacing Hill. Klepner in for Wright. 2:15 to go. Wright will take it to the basket, off the glass, up and in.
That was really well defended by Reed Nickel, but just a nice finish. McKinley Wright went right into his chest, took the contact, still able to finish. Mark Tucker with a quick timeout. Down 7, John. So you're obviously going to start to pick up full court. Watch this finish. Right into the chest. And he couldn't have defended that any better. Reed did a nice job keeping his hands straight up. But I think this is where, I think if Champlin looks back on this game, John, they're going to talk about, you heard Mark talk at halftime about the pace. Wondering if they would have picked Maple Grove up full court, try to get them in a little bit more of a up and down game, but Maple Grove dictated that pace by slowing it down in the half court and running time off the clock, and I think that made Champlin Park a little bit stagnant. This is in the 50s. Champlin would like to see that score in the high 70s, 80s. And you can see this is a great crowd back and forth. That's the thing about high school basketball. It's so fun. These kids are so passionate about their team. These are kids that they've been friends for years, so they feel invested in them. You go to college, you lose a little bit of that personalness, right. And NBA, same thing. It's not quite as personal. Here at this level, it's so personal, and that's what makes it so fun to broadcast these games and be a part of them.
Plenty of playoff sports coming up on Channel 12. Playoff hockey first and basketball. Maple Grove with a 7-point lead, 2:08 to go.
And this is where I trap Brad Davison, get the ball out of his hands, and either put someone else at the line or make someone else play fast. Maybe you can create a turnover. What you can't let happen right here is Maple Grove to take 45 seconds off the clock.
I'm already taking 20 off.
Yep.
Pickford with it.
And on the flip side, you're only at 3 team fouls, so you're...
Hill and Davison get tangled up. We'll get a foul called against Hill. second on Marcus Hill. Only the 14 foul on Champlin Park, so still a couple more to give for them with 1:44 to go. Davison right on him defensively. They'll work more clock, gives it off to Nico, 1:30 to go. Nico will hand off to Davison. Ball popped free by Wright. Strong fouled by Davison, who prevented a layup with that foul.
That's a great foul. That's only their 16th foul. So he took away 2 points here. So I don't know if he intentionally tried to foul him, but he did pick up a foul. It was a smart foul.
Third foul on Davison.
I think if you're Champlin, you need a quick attack bucket. Try to get a layup if you can't. See if you can get a good look at a three-point shot here. If you get a score, you're right into this game here.
1:20 to go. Wright attacking, crossover, trying to get it down low for John, and the ball knocked away. A steal for Maple Grove, ahead for Bredensteiner. Tied up by Smith. They're looking for a jump ball. Instead, it's going to be a foul called on Brian Smith.
And not a bad foul by Smith. You're putting a guy that doesn't get a lot of free throw shot attempts, during the year at the free throw line. You stop the clock. You get yourself a chance to get something set up offensively. So certainly not a bad foul.
Bredensteiner, though, able to hit the first free throw.
I tell you, Bredensteiner hasn't. He's only got 5 points, but they've been 5 big points. That jump shot before halftime. He had a nice mid-range here in the second half. And here he knocks 2 big free throws down to push that lead to 9. So we talked about role players in the beginning of the game stepping up. Bredensteiner's had a great game.
Wright with a minute to play. Take it to the basket. Up one. Basket foul on Nico. Picks up his 4th, and Wright with a chance to finish with a 3-point play.
Nice shot fake there. Again, finishing with that left hand. I thought we'd see more of that from McKinley Wright tonight. I mean, he's had a good game. He's got 19 points. I feel like he's got the quickness and the speed to do that every time down the floor. And he's so strong. He's long. He can finish, overread Nico that time. Big time play.
Makes the free throw, 6-point game.
There's still 2 possessions right now.
Nico in the backcourt. 55 seconds to go. Foul on Wright, I think, battling against Davison. Or do we get a timeout call? Yeah, full timeout taken by Maple Grove. Just 1 timeout remaining for the Crimson, 2 for Champlin Park.
And that was a smart play, smart timeout. The 10-second rule probably down to 4 or 5 seconds. Your big fella has the ball. And recognize this is a 2-possession game, right? So by no means is this one over. You need to get the ball inbounds, get it to one of your better free throw shooters, force Champlin Park to foul you. And again, you're still not in the bonus with only 5 team fouls, so 2 fouls away.
Look at our updated stats. We have under a minute to play.
When you talk Maple Grove losing to Centennial, what were they from the 3-point line? Right?
Yeah, they couldn't shoot that night,
tonight,
Coach Schroeder said.
Not settling for threes, right? You can see they only took 6. They made 3 of them, but I thought their ability to get to that mid-range, and Brad here in the second half getting to the basket has been the difference. Reed Nico having a nice game with 12 points. If you look at the 4-star, the Theo John, McKinley Wright combination with 30 points tonight. Brad Davison and Reed Nico with 34 points. So pretty much canceling out. It's been those role players. It's been Teron Pickford. It's been, Ryan Bredensteiner. Jack Hutchinson hasn't had a great game, but he's hit a couple of buckets. So it's kind of been those role players stepping up for Maple Grove.
Hutchison looking for someone to inbound and takes a timeout. So that's their final timeout.
And what that shows me right there, John, is that Champlin has the quickness to play full court, right, with Maple Grove. I think they would have looked back and said, hey, why didn't we pick up full court? Maybe try to trap Brad, force someone else to make decisions earlier, and pick the pace up, and maybe this would have been a different style of game, if nothing else. You saw Osseo speed up the game significantly when they beat Maple Grove.
seconds to go. So again, Maple Grove out of timeouts here with 55 seconds to go. They get it immediately this time, though, to Nico. Gets fouled by John. His fourth, but again, under a minute to play. Didn't pick up any in the second half until that one. Sat the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half with 3 before he came in, but he's stayed out of foul trouble since. Next one will be the bonus for Maple Grove. And John knocked it away, but couldn't get the steal from Nico. Now Davison will have to beat the 10-second. Hawk will get a foul on the right.
You see Coach Tucker saying, don't foul on that. You have probably 6-7 seconds. Just play defense, see if we can get a turnover. Yeah, Theo John anticipated that inbound pass, almost had it. And if he would have had a clear basket, clear path for a dunk.
Davison tonight 4 out of 5 from the free throw line. Misses it. In and out. Kleppner rebounds. Champlin Park has life. Wright will drive to the basket and Nico. Oh, an offensive foul. Wow.
Wow.
That's 5 on Wright.
Well, you see the replay. I think that's the right call.
Well, I don't know. I might have to disagree with you on that one.
Well, and more importantly, that's going to be number 5 on McKinley Wright as well. Yeah, let's take a look at this. I mean, what did Reed Nichols do defensively?
He jumps into him.
I think that it's either a no call or it's an offensive foul. That's the right call. It's frustrating when you see what it is visually is you see a little guy going into a big guy. But if you watch that in the definition of a chart, I mean, Reed Nichols' hands are straight up, his feet are set. That's the right call. And it's the right idea, too, by McKinley Wright. You're trying to attack the basket, get a foul, maybe get an and one. But as frustrating as it is, that was a pretty good call, or it should have been a no call.
Inbound to Nico, to Bredensteiner, back to Davison, and he's fouled by Smith. Another 1-and-1 coming for Davison. Champlin Park not out of it yet, but it's close.
I mean, but they've played this last minute really well here. I mean, here's 6 points. They got Davison missing the front end of a 1-and-1 last time. They got the ball in the hands of their best player, who just unfortunately got called for a foul.
Now it's a 3-possession game as Davison hits the front end of the 1-and-1 this time.
And this is big because now instead of trying to get a quick 2, I think you almost have to try to get a 3.
Second one is good. 24 points for the junior. 35 seconds to go. Kleppner into the front court. Hands it off to Smith. Bounce pass to John. Outside 3 for him. It's good. Timeout Champlin Park. It's a 5-point game.
I'll tell you, Theo John has showed me something here tonight. Knocking down threes. Knocking down a 3 there. He hit a mid-range jump shot earlier. Got a nice shooting touch. Look at the release. Look at the arc. That's not an easy thing shooting over a 6'9", 6'10" guy as well. Now you go back to that McKinley Wright play. Had we gotten a basket there, this is a 3-point basketball game. But a nice big 3. They got the shot they needed. They get the timeout. They can set their defense up. I think the key here, you deny Brad the ball and try to get someone else a quick foul. And it's still 1-and-1, and you're not in the double. They're certainly not out of it. That's exactly what Champlin needed there, was a quick score.
Well, we haven't been cheated tonight, Ryan, in this game, have we?
God, it seems like we've had a number of good, close, hard-fought games. That Osseo Maple Grove doubleheader, both girls, boys game were phenomenal. This one here tonight, very, very competitive.
Now the next foul on Champlin Park will be their 10th. So now Crimson in the double bonus. Champlin Park needs a turnover. Hutchison gets it into Davison. Passes ahead. Bredensteiner wide open and lays it in.
And that's the risk when you gamble, especially on a guy like Brad Davison who's got such good vision.
Klepner, his three, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line for three. Probably not going to make a difference with 10.8 seconds to go, but not what you want to have happen if you're Maple Grove. Defend the three, but try not to foul it. Davison, well, I don't know if he got much contact there, but he's called for the foul anyway. It's his fourth.
That's the kind of play that if it happens with 3 minutes into the first half, probably doesn't get called, but I think in the end of the game, nice job by Klepner selling that there with his body as well.
Missed the first one. Second one is good. His first point tonight.
I was going to say he hasn't had a big game tonight, but watching him this year, I think he's been just a vastly improved player from last year to this year, and has hit a number of big shots this year, plays great defense, hustles. He's a big cog in the engine here at Champlin Park.
5-point game, 10.8 seconds to play on the scoreboard here as Lean comes into Davison, who's fouled immediately. 9.7 to go. Fouled on Klepner, his third. Davison to the line for two. Davison making the first one for his 25th point of the night. They got them both. 7-point game. Maple Grove's going to win this one. Klepner three over Davison, not good. Pickford has the ball, and the game is over. 65-58. Maple Grove breaking a 4-game losing streak over the last few years against Champlin Park, and they win it for their 19th win of the season.
Yeah, fun game. It really played out exactly. I mean, I thought both guards, McKinley Wright, Brad Davison, played pretty well to very well. Theo John had a number of nice post moves. We saw some great footwork, some outside shooting from him. Reed Nickel with a couple of big physical moves down low, a couple of big dunks, some shot blocks, and then the role players. Teron Pickford having a nice game. We saw Ryan Bredensteiner having a couple of nice big impact plays. You know, Josiah Strong off the bench for Champlin having that big first half. He didn't score in the second half, but you know, it was a really well-played basketball. I think, again, it comes down to that pace. Champlin wants to get up and down a little bit more than they were able to do tonight. Hats off to Maple Grove for dictating that.
So the Crimson get their second win in as many nights. They go to 19-3 overall, 13-2 in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Just the second conference loss of the year for the Rebels. The other one came against Osseo, and their fourth loss overall. They dropped to 17-4. That'll do it for our telecast tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in and spending part of your Friday night here with Channel 12. For Ryan Iverson and all of our great crew, I'm John Jacobson. Final score again. Maple Grove wins it over Champlin Park 65-58. Slammed it home.